Hi everyone, this is Hannah with Alignment Principles Yoga. Go ahead, son. Today we're going to be going through a flow that's going to teach us how to safely get into crow pose. This month's pose of the month is crow pose. It is a great beginner-friendly arm balance if you're someone who's wanting to start or kind of build upon your arm balance and inversion journey. Now, take it with a grain of salt. I say beginner with an asterisk because as someone who's been practicing and teaching for many, many years, crow pose was like the only pose I was really struggling to get in and out of when it comes to balances. And then I found out there's a couple key tips and tricks that you can do while in the pose and getting into the pose that are an absolute game changer. If you're someone who struggles with the confidence of getting your face up close to the floor, maybe it's holding your own weight up. If you're someone who has a hard time with either their legs slipping off of their forearms, or using their triceps, or it hurts the tricep when you put the knee up there, today is going to be the class for you. So before we get started, a couple props that you may want nearby. I always recommend blocks. If you don't have access to any other yoga props, blocks are really affordable, and they're one of the few props that are really hard to mimic. Yoga straps, you can use the strap from your mat, you can use a belt, you can use a scarf. For yoga blankets, you can use pillows, but blocks are really hard to replace. So go ahead and grab some blocks if you have those. If you're someone who's struggling with the strength or the confidence component, these are going to be really helpful. Obviously, some kind of sturdy surface. Yoga mat is the best. If you don't have a yoga mat, go ahead and do it on a hard floor surface. With an arm balance, we don't want anything like a blanket or a towel. It will be too slippery, and that's not great for safety. And then some nice things to have nearby if you're someone who has sensitive knees, or if you're someone who is a little bit more insecure about getting that face to the floor and picking the feet up, go ahead and have a yoga blanket nearby. If you just have access to a regular blanket, that's great, or a pillow. Those will all be nice to have nearby you. So we're going to start today in a comfortable seated position that can be crisscrossed, legs out in front of you, butterfly, whatever feels good for your hips and your knees at the moment. We're going to press our sit bones into the floor and feel our head reach towards the sky, pulling those ears up and away from the shoulders. We're going to focus a lot today on that core girdle. So not just the front abdominals, but the obliques and the core that wraps around that mid-low back is going to be really important. The way to kind of secure that is think of pulling your belly button up to your ribs, pulling it back to the spine, and then getting that feeling of like right before you sneeze, that tense feeling, go ahead and lock that in. Just feel nice and engaged all the way around. We're going to pull the ribs back, place the hands on the knees, the floors, whatever's comfortable, and lift that chest to the sky. We're going to inhale those shoulders to the ears. Exhale, pinch the spine and slide down, hold them there. Go ahead and start to find your breath. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them. But a great practice in yoga is just finding more just body awareness, right? It's a great way to start your practice. So slowly just find how your breath naturally breathes. Start to take note of how your body feels physically, mentally, emotionally. Start to cut the ties to whatever thoughts, to-do lists, whatever was on your mind, or conversations you were having before you came to the mat. If they're important, I promise they'll still be there when we finish. Go ahead and take 2 more breaths here. Nice big inhales through the nose. Feel those shoulders rise. Exhale out the mouth, feel the shoulders fall back down, core re-tighten. On our next inhale, we're going to take that right arm up to the sky. See how long you can get from that hip to the fingertips before you exhale and reach over the head. Today, we're going to be focusing a lot on upward motion. So as you're folding over, don't worry too much about how low you can get to the floor. If your hand's on a block or maybe all the way down the forearm, what we really want to focus on is pressing that right hip into the floor and then thinking of somebody having a fishing wire tied around your right rib, pulling you up to a sky, really getting that C shape, right? Take one more breath here. Take a nice big inhale, reach a little further before you exhale, come on up. Other side. Inhale that left arm up, really reach those fingers, plant that left hip into the floor before you exhale, reach over. Same thing, really think of pressing those left ribs up to the sky. 2 more breaths. Last one. Take a nice big inhale, reach a little further. Before you exhale, come on up. Awesome job. We're going to work on warming up that spine and those wrists. So cross the ankles, throw your weight forward. We're going to come into our tabletop. Now for those that have wrist pain, right? When you do down dog, planks, maybe even cat-cow, if you tend to get that pain in the wrist, in the lower part of the palm, a good little trick is a lot of times that's happening because when we start to push weight or use our abdominals, our shoulders shift behind and we're almost able to pick the fingertips up. So for today and anytime you practice, if that's something that happens for you, 2 things you're going to want to focus on. The first is you're going to spread your fingers as wide as you can, place the fingertips on the mat, then the fingers, then it'll be the knuckles on the hand, then the palm. You're going to feel a good stretch in those hands and those fingers, and you'll almost feel like you're with your weight, you're able to pick the wrist up and not the fingers, right? Those shoulders are going to be stacked over the elbows, stacked over, we're going to think the center of the palm, especially if you have those wrist issues. If you hyperextend and that elbow looks like it's bending backwards, that little inner elbow crease, we're going to turn to face the opposite corner of the mat. Squeeze those shoulder blades onto the back. We're going to get those knees just underneath those hips and just kind of hide the feet behind the knees, From here, that core is still nice and tight. As we inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, keep the shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, we're going to focus on pushing the mat away, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone. Right? This can be a big or a small movement. Inhale, drop. Just like in our side bends, we're going to picture that there's a fishing wire attached to some of the top vertebra in the spine that's pulling us up towards the ceiling, pressing through the mat, really getting long in those arms. And inhale. Exhale. Really squeeze the abdominals. Make sure those shoulders are staying over those palms. One more like this. Inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to go ahead and sit back on our heels. If this is difficult for you, please feel free to put a blanket or a pillow or some blocks underneath the hips. We're going to warm up those wrists, get some stretch in. So, the first stretch we're going to take is we're going to have the exact same hands we did in our tabletop. So we're going to place those fingers, then the palms. We're going to make sure that those elbows creases aren't facing forward. We're going to turn them in. We're going to take a nice big inhale. Exhale, we're going to send those shoulders as far past those fingers as we can, right? Stretch that inside part of those forearms. Now, the nice thing about wrist stretching is you can make it as easy or as hard as you want. If you have tight wrists, or maybe you're just concerned about the health of your wrists, if you're on a computer a lot, you can easily pick your weight up by pushing through the knees so there's not as much weight. You also don't have to stretch super far. You can just go till you feel it a little bit. Find your safety spot, breathe through it, keep those fingers nice and wide. Take one more breath here. From here, we're going to stay in the same position. Take the weight off the hands for a sec. We're going to turn our hands out almost like they're little pigeon feet, right? So your left fingers are going to face the left. Your right fingers are going to face the right. The palms are going to be, or the wrists are going to be facing each other. We still want to make sure the wrist is underneath the shoulders, right? We're just going to inhale, sway our weight to the left. Exhale, sway the weight to the right. 2 more like this each side. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the right. Make sure those fingers stay nice and wide. We have a tendency to pull the fingers in and get tight little fins when something's uncomfortable with the wrists. When you inhale, we're gonna come back to center. This time we're gonna be flipping the palms over. So the palms are gonna face up towards us. The fingers are gonna face our knees, right? Walk those knees up. Obviously, the more you sit your hips down, the more weight you're gonna have in those wrists. So adjust as according. Also, the more you bring your knees back, the deeper the stretch is gonna be, okay? So you are gonna wanna keep a slight bend in those elbows so we don't hyperextend. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Sit back wherever you're comfortable. Get a nice stretch on the front of the wrists. You may even feel a stretch into the top of the hand. Take one more breath like this. And then hang with me. We got one more wrist stretch. So the fingers are gonna face the same way. We're just gonna rotate the palms down. Now go slow with this, right? We're gonna counter stretch. We don't wanna hurt ourselves. So the palms are gonna be down, fingers are gonna be spread nice and wide, okay? And then we're going to put a little bend in those elbows. This is a big stretch to really encourage hyperextension. So put a little bend in those elbows, and then you're gonna send those hips back as much as you're comfortable to stretch the front of those wrists out. Take 2 more breaths here. Last one. Find that deep inhale through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Keep that core tight. On your next inhale, you're going to slowly walk those knees in. Exhale, slowly peel those hands off. You can individually roll the wrists out. You can interlace and kind of like a figure 8. Whatever feels good to kind of get some slow little movement in those wrists again. All those stretches are great for people who have concerns about carpal tunnel. If you're someone who works on the computer a lot, any kind of flexion of the wrist is going to be great for that. Awesome. We're going to head back into our tabletop. So go ahead and spread those fingers wide. And when we say spread the fingers wide, we're trying to pull that pinky and that thumb as far away from each other. A lot of times as we start to put weight on the hands, we bring the fingers together. So really encourage that stretch in between the fingers. Go ahead and place the fingers down, then the palms. Get those shoulders stacked right and get those knees underneath you. We're gonna do some shoulder push-ups. We're really gonna start warming up the scapula and the shoulder joint for this arm balance. There are 3 variations you can take depending on your strength. The first is tabletop, right? The second is going to be plank on your knees. And the third option is full plank. All are the same. We're gonna keep our core tight no matter what. We're gonna keep our fingers spread no matter what. And we're gonna keep the shoulders over the hands. The biggest issue we see with this movement is that pointer finger knuckle starts to come up because we have tight forearms or tight shoulders. We wanna press the entire palm to the floor. If you're someone who likes to grip the floor once we start to do inversions, it's just that middle knuckle on the fingers that's coming up, right? The palm is staying flat. So that helps protect those rotator cuffs and those shoulders. So make sure those fingers are spread nice and wide. I'll take your tabletop, kneeling plank, or full plank. And just like a cat-cow, we're gonna move with our breath without moving the abdominals. So we're gonna take a nice big inhale. We're gonna sink our chest towards the floor. Let those shoulder blades touch onto the back. As we exhale, we're gonna press through the lat muscles underneath the armpit. Push the mat away. Feel the scapula slide off the back. All right, we're gonna do 3 more like this. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come up. Last one, you should feel those shoulders getting nice and warm. Exhale, come on up. Good job. Go ahead and take those knees wide. Send those hips back. Go ahead and take a nice little stretch of those shoulders. Really think of in your child's pose, reaching those hands to the front of your mat. And then think as if someone has hold of your hips and they're pulling them towards the back of the mat. Take a breath here. When you're ready, we're gonna come up into our first down dog. Make sure those fingers are spread nice and wide. The palms are stuck. Tuck those toes, send the tailbone to the sky. Go ahead and walk it out. If you're someone who has that wrist pain in down dog, make sure that you're getting that sensation of sliding those hands off the top of the mat. Get that weight into the fingers, almost like you can lift the palms up. Go ahead and walk the dog out, bend those knees, lift those heels. Feels really good sometimes to tuck the toes and stretch the top of the foot, front of the shin. Take one more breath here. On our next inhale, we're gonna bend the knees between the hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Go ahead and take your fold. This is a great example of when blocks are awesome. They bring the floor to you if you're feeling some tightness in the hamstrings or the hips. We're going to inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're gonna come up. Don't bring the arms up. As we inhale up, we're gonna roll those shoulders back. Interlace the hands. Exhale, lift to the sky. Exhale, fold it forward. Let those shoulder blades slide off the back. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, place those hands. Start with the fingers. Bend the palms. Step back. Pull that belly in as you inhale. Exhale, as you chaturanga, those elbows touch the ribs. The chest is going to touch the floor first. We're going to inhale up, cobra. Pelvis stays on the floor, elbows are bent. Squeeze the ribs. Exhale, tuck the toes, press back, down dog. Again, inhale, bend the knees between the hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, same thing, roll those shoulders back. As you exhale, interlace those hands behind the back. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Lift that chest. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, place those hands. Step or hop back. Pause. Exhale, lower. Slow and controlled. You can do these on your knees. Inhale up, cobra. Make sure those hands, those palms are planted firmly on the floor. Exhale, press back, down dog. One more time, inhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, roll those shoulders back, interlace those hands behind the back. Exhale, reach the chest to the floor. Hands, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, place those hands. We're gonna go ahead and step back just to our knees and sit. So we're gonna do one of my favorite warm-ups for when you're gonna do any kind of inversion or arm balance. Really need to warm up the shoulders and the core. Chaturanga push-ups, excuse me. They're very much like a reverse actual push-up, right? So you can do these on your knees or your toes. Does not matter. We're probably at home by ourselves. No one can watch us, doesn't matter, right? Take whatever one is going to allow you to stay like a plank. So as we go through our chaturanga, we want to think that there's a plank in the front of us, a plank in the back of us, and we can't bend the ribs, okay? If when you do a regular lower, your pelvis comes first, you almost come through up dog and cobra down. Eventually we're going to pinch that all the little nerves in our lower back, right? And we're not actually training the core. So if that's you, that's totally okay. Come to the knees, tighten that core, go this way, okay? Stay nice and strong as a plank. However you choose to do it, we're gonna take an inhale at the top. We're gonna exhale, slowly lower. Feel those elbows touch the ribs, right? Slowly lower. It's gonna be on a count of 6. Hover, and we'll lower. And then you can come up however you want, right? You don't have to push up on the way up. You can come through cobra, whatever feels comfortable for you to come back up. So we're gonna lower down for a count of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll hover. 6. Come down. Come up however you want. We're going to do that 4 times. So come to your version of a plank today. Move my blocks out of the way. Make sure those fingers stay nice and wide. Palms are going to be suction cupped to the floor. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good job. Come on up. Again, take a nice big inhale. Exhale, lower for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hover 5, 6. Good job. 2 more. Come on up. Inhale. Exhale, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one. Really feel those ribs squeeze. Squeeze between those elbows when you get to that hover. That's going to help take some weight off. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and take those toes together, knees wide. Go ahead and come into your child's pose. Reach those hands forward. Pull that tailbone behind you. Go ahead and take a sip of water. Find your breath. Very simple movement, but it gets difficult. Really works the arms, the shoulders, and the core control. Take one more breath here. When you're ready, go ahead and plant those hands nice and strong. Tuck those toes under. I'm going to come up to down dog. We're going to inhale that right leg up in three-legged dog. Exhale, we're going to send it through. Place that foot between the hands. If you have shorter arms, feel free to place a block underneath each arm. We're going to stay up in a high runner's lunge. We're going to start to stretch out that quad and that back hip flexor. So come nice and high. Think of reaching your front knee forward and your back heel as far back from behind you as you can. We're going to take a nice big inhale. Exhale, we're going to drop that back knee. Take note of where your hips are. We want to keep those hips exactly where they are. We don't want to raise them. What we're going to do is take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, think of sending the heel behind you, and that's what's going to straighten that knee. It may straighten, it may not. Get a good stretch in that hip flexor. Keep the belly pulled in. And lower. 3 more like this. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach that heel behind you. Exhale, lower. Last one. And lower. Go ahead and keep those back toes tucked. Send the hips back. Just take a nice little break. Stretch that front hamstring out. Give that hip flexor a moment. Find that breath. Keep the belly pulled in. Send that front leg into a bend, keeping that back knee down, toes tucked. This is if you have those sensitive knees. Go ahead and place that yoga blanket underneath, or you can roll the mat over if you have some sensitivity. We're going to go ahead and place our hands on the thighs, right? And we're going to square those hips off. So pull the right hip back, push the left hip forward. From here, squeeze the core, squeeze the glutes. All we're going to do is take a nice big inhale. Exhale, bend that front knee. Pause. If this is a good enough stretch and your hip flexor and your quad, stay here. If you want to deepen it, you can place that left hand down. Send the right hand behind you. If you don't have a yoga strap and you're unable to grab that back foot, that's okay. Just bend the knee and reach towards the foot. It is a much deeper stretch, more effective stretch to keep the hips down than to come up in the hips to grab the foot. So if you can't keep your hips down and touch the foot, just reach towards it. Take one more breath here. Inhale, go ahead and come back to the front if you were reaching back. Exhale, place those hands, drop that back foot, send it up, down dog. Other side, inhale up, that left leg, send it through center. We're gonna stay up in that high lunge. Reach that front knee forward, that back heel back. When you're ready, go ahead and drop that back knee. Pause, take note of where those hips are. Keep those hips low. As you inhale, send the heel behind you. Maybe you'll straighten the knee, maybe you won't. Exhale, lower. Inhale, send that heel behind you. Exhale, lower. 2 more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Send those hips back. Stretch that front hamstring. Give that hip flexor a break. On your next inhale, go ahead and bend that front knee again. Keep that back knee tucked and those back toes tucked. You can stay here, right? If you're getting a good hip flexor stretch, just come on up. Push that right hip forward, pull the left hip back. If you want a deeper stretch, that right hand comes down, left arm comes up and around. If you can't grab the foot, again, that's fine, just keep the hips low. Sometimes you can grab the foot on one side, not the other. And make sure that front foot isn't rolling out. You want to keep that knee hugged in, push down to that big toe on that left foot. One more breath. Go ahead, take a nice big inhale. Exhale, and place those hands, tuck that back toe, send it back up. Down dog. We're gonna inhale up that right leg again. Send it through center into lunge. Pause. Go ahead and pull that knee forward, push the heel back. Come on up. See if you can go no hands. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads. Big inhale. Exhale, maybe we can bend in that front knee a little deeper, stretch that heel behind us more. Pull the belly in. One more breath. Squeeze that right glute, feel the shake. Exhale, drop those hands down. We're gonna drop that back knee, slide it to the front heel, and sit. From here, I'm gonna turn around so you guys can see the front of me. So you can take a couple choices. So you're gonna end up facing kind of like this. If the foot's in front of you, we're gonna work on just trying to get on top of the knee. If the foot is behind the knee, you can go ahead and hug it in, pick it up off the floor. If you have really flexible hips, you're welcome to cradle. You can do a half cradle, or bring it to the crook of the elbow and do a full cradle. But we wanna make sure we're not rounding that back. We wanna press that belly forward. Nice long spine. One more breath. Inhale, we're gonna place that right foot back down. Exhale, place the hands, step back, down dog. Inhale, that left leg. Exhale through center. Reach that front knee forward, heel behind you, come up into your runner's lunge. You can place the hands on the knees, squeeze the glutes, pull the belly in, squeeze that back quad, keep that knee lifted. Big inhale. Exhale, bend a little deeper in that front knee. 2 more breaths. Last one. Inhale, we're gonna place the hands onto the floor. Exhale, drop that back knee, slide it to the front heel, and come to a sit. From here, you're gonna go ahead and either hug that leg in, right? You can cradle it. Whatever feels good to get that stretch in that outer hip. Take one more breath here. When you're ready, inhale, place that foot back down. Exhale, place the hands, tuck those toes, step back. Down dog. Good job. Go ahead and take the toes together, knees wide, come sit on the heels. We're gonna go ahead and do some down dog crunches, right? These are really helpful for anyone who wants to start learning on how to press through the mat, kind of get that fishing wire pulling you up towards the ceiling kind of sensation. We're going to do this pose. It's going to be a circuit 3 times. Okay? So we're going to come into our down dog. We really want to make sure those palms are really, really strong onto the floor, right? Fingers are wide. If you are someone who has that wrist pain, really be intentional about sending those fingers on the ground, palms last. Keep those shoulders over those wrists while we come forward. We're going to tuck those toes, send back, down dog. We're going to inhale that right leg up, squeezing the core. As we exhale, we're going to bring that right knee through, knee to nose, press the hands through the mat. Think of pulling that fishing wire in your spine up to the ceiling, kind of like you're in cat pose. Inhale, send it back, 3-legged dog. This time we're going to exhale, send the right knee out to the side, to the right elbow, kind of like Spider-Man. Still pressing the mat away. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, we're going to cross the body, right knee to left elbow. Still squeeze the abdominals, keep the foot off the ground. Inhale, come on up. That was 1. We've got 2 more. Exhale, knee to nose. Press through the mat. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Make sure those palms are staying flat, fingers are wide. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, cross body, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, send it up. 1 more time. Big deep breaths. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. This time, as we inhale that leg up, we're going to exhale the right knee to the left elbow. Pause. Drop it to the wrist. Pull it up to the elbow, wrist, and place down into pigeon. For our pigeon, get comfortable. And once you find your comfy spot, tuck those back toes, lift that back knee, really press the heel behind you, get some length. Then if you want, you can untuck the toes, right? We're going to stay upright. We really want to stretch that hip flexor. Personally, with my arm length, I like to grab blocks, place them in front of me to help me sit up even taller. Personal preference. Think of pulling that right hip back, pushing that left hip towards the floor. Pull the belly button in, relax the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes, protect the spine. 2 more breaths. Last one. Now we're going to take 2 more breaths. If this position feels great for you, stay here. If you want to deepen that stretch, you can place the left hand down, reach the right hand towards that foot, right? Or if it feels really good for you to stretch the hip out, you can come down into a bow. 2 breaths, whatever feels good for you. Just know whatever you do on this side, you will do on the other. 1 more breath. Inhale, place those hands under the shoulders. Exhale, tuck that back left foot. Pick the hips up, send that right leg through. And place it down. Other side. Before we start, make sure those fingers are spread nice and wide. Shoulders are pressing through the mat. Inhale to that left side. Exhale, knee to nose. Push your hands through the mat. Round that spine. Push the back to the ceiling. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, Spider-Man. Inhale up. Exhale, cross body, left knee to right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to nose. Squeeze those front abdominals. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, cross body, right elbow, left knee. Inhale up. Last time. Exhale, knee to nose. Make this one count. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, cross body. Remember, we're going to hold the knee to the elbow, drop to the wrist, elbow, wrist, and drop down pigeon. So for that elbow to wrist combo, it does really work those front top 2 abdominals, which is really helpful. It also practices the shoulder pressing to lift and lower ourselves. Tuck that back toe, lift, create some space, squeeze those glutes. If you want to grab blocks, you can. Sit up nice and tall. We don't want to roll over onto that right hip. So if you need to place something under the left hip, you can place something underneath it, right? But we want to think of pulling that left hip back, pushing that right hip towards the floor. Try and square those hips off. Pull the shoulders back. Relax. Take one more breath here. Now, whatever you did on the other side, you're going to do on this side. So if you stayed here, stay here. If you reached back to the foot, reach back. If you bowed forward, bow forward. One more breath here. On your next inhale, you're going to go ahead and place those hands underneath the shoulders. Press back to down dog. Hopefully everyone here is a little sweaty. Core is definitely engaged. Shoulders are warm. We're going to inhale, bend the knees, lift the hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. And come on up. So we're going to play with a little bit of balance upright before we flip ourselves upside down. So there are 3 key parts to a balance, right? First is a strong base. Regardless if we're standing or upside down, whatever's making contact with the floor is our base. Today we're going to go through tree pose. What I find is the simplest of balances that allows you to really think through things, okay? And if balance is a struggle for you, you're always welcome to come to a wall. You can also kickstand it. So as we go through our tree pose, if balance is truly a struggle, go ahead and find a wall. When we work our hip flexor, we can hold on to the wall. And as soon as we can put our leg where we're comfortable, just kickstand it. Put the toes on the floor, heel to the shin, okay? But to get into this balance, or any balance, we want a strong base. So today's base in our legs. Hook that left pinky toe and pull that big toe as far apart as you can. Squish the foot to the floor like an ogre foot. It's not very cute. Squeeze that left quad and that left glute. Feel like there's a steel rod through your leg. Right? The second is connecting the top and the bottom of your body. That's almost always going to be your abdominals. If you're standing upright, that connects you to your upper body. If you're upside down, it connects you to your lower body. So I'm going to think of bringing the lower rib and the hips closer together. So rather than pressing our glutes out, we're going to sew it shut. Get that tight feeling you get right before you sneeze. You should feel it wrap all the way around you. So you should feel pretty sturdy from like the bra line down through that left leg. The third step is telling your body where center is. A lot of balances are difficult because we have one leg out and your body is trying to counterbalance without counterbalancing. That's the nice thing about crows, all counterbalance. So the key is press your hands into the center of your breastbone or your forehead. Tell your body where center is, okay? I personally like to bring my hands to heart center, really kind of rub it into the breastbone, tell my body where center is. Center, tight core, tight lip. From here, we want to work that hip flexor. So we're going to take a nice big inhale. Then lift that knee as high as you can with that hip flexor, okay? Once you stop and you're like, I can't get my leg any higher, exhale, go ahead and place the foot wherever is comfortable for you. We don't want it on the knee. So if you then need to grab it with your hands to lift it higher or lower, do so, right? The higher up the foot, the further out the knee is from the body. So it's more difficult of a balance when it comes to counterbalancing. So squeeze that thigh. You feel that foot push into it. Core is tight. Tell your body where center is. Press your head to the ceiling. You should feel nice and strong. You may feel that ankle wiggle a little bit. That's good. Make those stabilizers work. That'll help with balance as we age. Find something on the wall in front of you that's stable. Maybe there's a spot above the TV or the computer. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror, a good spot is that little hole in the throat between the collarbones. Focus on the breath. If you feel comfortable, the hands can come out. So whatever feels good. With those shoulders down. Core is tight. Squeeze that standing glute and quad. Big inhale. Exhale. Take the foot off and slowly lower it down. Good job. Shake that foot out. I got a little crampy. Other side. Anytime you do a balance, especially in tree, it's a very common pose for balance teaching in a class, especially all levels. If you find yourself falling, don't just pop back up, right? Because your body's clearly thinking the weight is going this way. Stop. Recenter. Pinky toe. Pull the big toe away. Right? Squeeze the quad. Squeeze the glute. Tighten the abdominals. Make your abdominals shorter. Spine center. When you're ready, inhale that knee up. That maybe you've already started lifting it. Maybe you're not ready. That's fine. The nice thing about at-home videos is you can pause me, collect yourself, and jump back in. Keep that quad squeezed. Feel pressure between the foot and the quad. Core is tight. If you're pretty confident, you can then bring your hand out. If you ever start to feel wobbly, bring those hands back. Press. There's a tenderness if you push your thumb knuckles into the center of your breastbone. Pull those shoulders back. Don't panic if you feel yourself start to wiggle your foot. We'll counterbalance it. You give it a second. Big inhale. Exhale, go ahead and take the foot off the leg and lower it down. Good job. Perfect. So now we're going to work on actually getting into crow pose. If you're not familiar with what crow pose looks like and didn't see the thumbnail for this video, no worries. We're going to show you how to get into it. So to start, before we start popping up and I give you these little tips and tricks, if you are somebody who is concerned about my face hitting the floor, right? Totally understandable. What I would recommend to conquer that fear is get a pillow or a blanket, something soft that if you looked at it and you fell with your face on it, it wouldn't be a concern. So go ahead and put that soft surface there. That's your concern, okay? If you're someone who's not come up into pro pose before, and if you're like, that's not gonna happen today either, it's okay. I'll show you a bus stop to get into, to feel the pose and start to build that confidence. If you're somebody who's like, I got it, I got crow pose, but the balancing portion of it, holding myself up, you're gonna want 2 blocks, tall, okay, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Now, if you're somebody who is like myself, where when you got into crow pose, you could either never get your feet up, or once you did, it felt like daggers were pressing into your triceps, or your knee just kept sliding off and getting hooked on the elbow, there's a key to that. So, before we get into how to use the blocks, let's conquer the uncomfortable portion of crow. So crow, the wrist pain, we want to get rid of it. Fingers spread nice and wide. Place the fingers down, then the knuckles, then the palms, shoulder distance apart. The second part is get those knees as high as you can. It just kind of gives you a better center of gravity or a tighter ball, okay? When you start to lean forward, a lot of people are worried about their face hitting the floor. Your face does get very close to the floor in crow pose. The reason is counterbalance. Your head and shoulders, really just your head and neck, are trying to counterbalance your back, your hip, your feet, which is much heavier than your head and your neck. So you really got to reach forward to be able to get those toes up. So if you're someone who the toes couldn't get up, a lot of times we're stuck back here and we're trying to pick them up. You got to send the weight forward to pick the feet up, okay? If you're someone who that pain happens on the tricep, a lot of us get dumpy. We just throw all of our weight on our tricep. Think of that cat-cow, or when we did the down dog crunches, that fishing wire on that top vertebra is pulling you towards the sky. You want to think of a really rounded back. Someone's lifting you up, right? That's going to take the weight off the knees. So you're going to go from up nice and high, right? Get that. As soon as I drop, I fall. So the more you push your hands to the floor, think of that cat pose, it's going to take the weight off those hands, right? If you're someone who wants to try using the blocks, you may want a pillow here just for confidence. Take the blocks, height, the tallest height you can get. Leave enough space between for your head. You really want them shoulder distance apart. Get your hands closer to them than you think you need. Go ahead and get those knees high, okay? We're gonna throw our weight forward and find our shoulders on those blocks, right? From here, you can practice pushing your hands into the floor, rounding that back. Maybe you're able to get your shoulders up and off, okay? This is a great way to practice just the confidence and the strength, okay? We're gonna take another minute here, get nice and comfortable, fingers spread nice and wide, get those knees up as high as you can. Throw that weight forward, walk those feet in. Before you start to hinge too far forward, squeeze the knees in, pull the back up to the sky, pick those toes up, breathe. Whenever you want, come down. Take a breath. Keep trying it out. Crow, if it's not something you're coming up into, you're like, my feet aren't, nope, I'm not doing it. I don't even want to place my shoulders on the blocks. That's okay. There's a couple ways you can get into it and still feel the sensation. The first step would be literally just come into the prep and start to push the weight forward. Keep the feet on the floor, right? Just lift the hips. You can get that sensation of squeezing the legs in, pressing through the hands, rounding the back to the sky, and coming down, right? The second option, place the feet up on 1 or 2 blocks. I prefer 1, but it depends on the length of your arms, right? Place those hands. This allows you to shift your weight forward a little bit more, okay? You can do it by breaths. You can inhale forward, exhale, come down, or you can hold for a couple breaths. Again, if you start to get that wrist pain, push that weight into those fingers. Get the shoulders over the fingers. Down. Take your last breath wherever you're at. If you've already finished your crow, you're welcome to come into child's pose and pause. If you want more time to play with crow pose, just pause me. You can come back to it. When you're done with crow pose, we're gonna come sit back, throw the feet around to the side, and come lie down. We're gonna place the bottoms of our feet to the mat, bend the knees. Feel the lower back suction to the mat, okay? Relax the head, neck, and shoulders. We're gonna take a nice big inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis like someone's pulling it up towards your ribs. Press up, bridge. Pause. If you wanna walk those hands underneath and interlace, you can. If you want to take a block underneath that low back, you can. If you choose to do that, though, we don't relax onto the block. You keep pushing through those feet and those glutes. One more breath. Good job, everyone. Squeeze those inner thighs. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly lower it. Before your hips completely hit the ground, go ahead and throw them to the right a little bit. Drop the knees to the left. Look out over that right shoulder and hand. Take a nice little gentle twist. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, come back through center. Feel that lower back touch the mat. Inhale, lift the hips a little bit, shift them to the left. Drop the knees to the right. Look down over the left shoulder and hand. Whenever we do these nice gentle supine twists, we want to make sure the shoulder that's opposite of the legs is pressed to the floor. We then work on the twist by trying to bring the knees or the feet closer. Two more breaths. Big inhale. Exhale, come back up to center. Make sure we get those hips squared back, lower back flat to the mat. We're gonna hug that right leg in, send the left bottom of the foot, the heel, as far away from you as you can, and relax it. If you want, you can then begin to either 90-degree angle it, almost like a half happy baby. Work on getting that knee down. Or if you have really loose hamstrings, you can send that foot overhead in a supine split. 2 more breaths. Big inhale. Exhale, we're going to bring the left knee into the right. Hug that one in. And exhale, send that right leg out as far as you can before you relax it. Hold that knee in. Stay here. Come into a bent happy baby, or you can come into a supine split. As long as that lower back stays nice and relaxed on the mat, and the shoulders, the neck are relaxed. A lot of times when we start to stretch the legs, we kind of round in that upper back and the shoulders come up. We want those nice and relaxed. One more breath. Go ahead and inhale that right leg up, squeeze the legs in, take a happy baby, rock side to side, whatever really feels good for you. We're going to work our way into Shavasana. Try not to skip this at home. It's really helpful to give yourself this last few minutes of me time. We're going to send the legs out in front of us. If you have lower back pain, you're welcome to place pillows or blankets underneath the knees. Kind of keep them bent so you can relax that low back. The hands can come down by the sides or hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Go ahead and take one more big inhale. As you exhale out the mouth, feel yourself melt into the mat. Relax the tongue off the roof of the mouth. Relax the teeth. And just focus on your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll out those wrists and those ankles. On your next inhale, stretch those arms overhead. Nice full body stretch from the toes to the fingers. When you're ready, roll to either side in the fetal position. Pause for a breath before using your arms to come up to a comfortable seated position. Pressing those sit bones into the floor, reaching that head to the sky. Tight the abdominals. Pull those shoulders up and back. Notice your body, notice your breath. The light and the love inside of me honors and sees the light and the love inside of you. Therefore, we are one. Namaste. Thank you, all of you, for joining. Hopefully, you got some really helpful information or some confidence in crow. If you didn't quite get up today or it wasn't exactly what you wanted, come back to this practice. All of the warm-up that we did is all perfect for building up that strength, confidence, and stability to get into that pose. Great beginner pose, and then build off of for deeper stretches and deeper balances, whether it's arm balances or inversions. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them below in the comments. I'm happy to help. If you like more classes like this that focus on mobility, body alignment, just kind of helping yoga feel good, please feel free to like and subscribe, follow along for the rest of our videos. Again, my name is Hannah. This is Alignment's Principle Yoga, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.